I was a freelance developer at the time, and Tim had made Cactus not too long before. And we met at Big Dev, which is a local game developer gathering. We just really hit it off, became friends, and eventually became more than that. A year and a half later, Tim moved in with me. We packed up all his stuff over a few weeks and then comes over with the moving truck and everything, and all his stuff is suddenly here in boxes. Unlike the packing process, which was pretty slow and stressful, unpacking we found was actually quite enjoyable. You take something out of a box and you don't know what it's going to be because we didn't label any of the boxes, so you're always kind of delighted by what's going to come out next. And then you get to arrange things to your liking. When you finish a box, you unlock the box underneath it. So there were a lot of elements in it that felt very gamey, so I said to Tim, this could make a fun game. I wasn't entirely serious when I suggested it. Another day, Tim brings it up again. He's like, hey, so in the Unpacking game, like, how would blah work? And I was like, oh, I guess are we still doing this? All right, sure. Because we had a lot of options for where this could go, right? But the story idea kind of appealed to me, so that you could follow a character through the different moves in her life and learn about her from childhood to adulthood. And I told Tim this, and he's like, no, this is great. Look, let's figure out where the story goes. One thing is how familiar and universal the experience is. But another thing is that we kind of take out everything that's not fun about it. We take out like the tedium of it, say like all the heavy lifting. You don't have to lift anything. Everything is really easy. You just click things. And you can move the microwave 6 times and not hurt your back. You open boxes with a click. You get rid of them with a click. You don't have to like put them all aside and then do a run to the garbage. It's easy. We make it easy, and we focus on the things that are enjoyable. And I think that's what like all games try to do, is just strip it down to the core enjoyable part and take away anything that isn't that. It felt appropriate, and it works really nicely for keeping the details to like a finite level. And actually, like when I started working on the project, the first thing I did was I made the smallest mug I could possibly make in pixel art, and tried to like keep it so that you'd be able to put some details on it, like a pattern or a little tiny logo. So what's the smallest mug I could possibly make that's very recognizable and customizable? And then I made the rest of the room size based on that. So the mug is like our minimum unit, and we just build everything to kind of that scale. There's no points, there's no timers, there's no competitive element. Tim talks about it often like we've knocked out a lot of the pillars that makes a game a game. Unpacking doesn't have any of that because we think it makes for a stronger experience when it doesn't have that. It's supposed to be a very relaxing game. It's supposed to be non-judgmental. It's a space where you can do what you want and make the room look how you want. Now, we do have some limitations of that, like this is not your house, this is the character's house. You're sort of playing the character, but we also call the player the unpacking ghost, because you're not exactly the character, you're kind of like exploring the character's things. Because you didn't put that stuff in there, you don't know what's in there. But the limitation is also like what the character would do. So like this character owns these objects and you can't get rid of any of them. You have to use these objects. You can't put things where the character doesn't want them to go. There's something pretty funny about Unpacking, which is that we designed it as this contemplative single-player experience, but it turns out to be a very fun game to watch. Like, it's fun to play with other people, sitting and watching you. We think it will work well for streaming. And that's because this is, it's very revealing, whatever the player decides to do. So if you watch someone organize a kitchen in a game, you're like, oh, why would they put that item there? It's like, what are they doing? It's like, no, move that over here. When we've shown the game previously, like we'd show it and say like a couple would be playing it, and one of them would be playing it and the other one would be like giving them directions or like judging or tutting at them about their decisions. I think my favorite playthroughs were the ones at Day of the Devs, where we had a screen that was like fairly high up and very big, and there was like a long line of people waiting to play the game. So everyone in line could see what the person playing was doing. And so the people in line, and even people from like other lines who were just kind of glancing at that weird game where you take things out of boxes, would be looking and were like, oh, what's that person doing? Oh, I wouldn't put that there, I would put it over here. And just kind of get to have an experience with the game even before playing it. I really enjoy organizing things. It's something that I think about a lot, and it's something that brings me joy, like organizing things and seeing them organized. It is a niche of people who can relate to that. It's just a very simple activity where you do something over and over, and it's like very satisfying to look at and very satisfying to do, and makes nice noises, and it's kind of looks appealing. I think a lot of us feel very out of control in our lives, like I know I do. And having a safe, controlled environment where you can do that easily is really nice. I feel like I have more control in games than I do in real life. It's a very controlled environment, and it's designed to make me feel good. And Unpacking is that, but it imitates real life. So you kind of feel like you have your life in control when you have like your little digital house organized.